Hey there and welcome. My name is Pete and this is our final channel update video of 2021. In total, it is channel update number 69, so let's get to it and talk a bit about the last few weeks of the year. Before we take a look ahead though, let's first take a look back, as I think it's safe to say that November brought the channel back on track, if you will. A look at the stats for the last month confirms that, as Pete Complete gathered almost 600,000 views for a total watch time of 134,000 hours, and the channel also grew by more than 2,000 new subscribers. This actually marks the first time since July that this number is back at 4 digits, and to all of the new subscribers, thank you for showing your support. I hope I can make it worth your while. Now, if you have been following the channel for a while, then none of this should come as too much of a surprise, as November saw the launch of something that a large part of the community had been asking for quite some time. I am of course talking about our new Rimworld series. Rimworld's latest expansion, the Ideology DLC, did already come out in summer, but unfortunately I wasn't really in a position to start a new series at that time, especially since I also knew that I would be taking more or less the entire month of September off. Still, I was hoping that even with a bit of a delay and despite other channels already playing their second or third Ideology series, that I could bring something unique to the table that would have you guys interested, and well, it looks like that seems to be the case. Or to put it more bluntly, you guys absolutely showered the first few videos with love, and I was actually getting a little bit overwhelmed during the premiere of the first episode, which saw so many appreciative and positive comments in the live chat that I had trouble reading them all, and simply finished that 30-minute premiere session completely blown away. And yes, of course, I know that Rimworld has a special place on this channel, but there are still doubts in the back of my mind that the game might eventually run its course, so I am very happy to see that apparently we haven't reached that point just yet. Now, since these channel update videos are also meant to be a small look behind the scenes of Pete Complete, I can maybe also share a bit of background info about how the series came to be, as it actually wasn't all that easy for me to figure out what I wanted to do with it. I had briefly thought about finally tackling the sea ice biome, but quickly decided that a lot of what Ideology offers cannot really be experienced there, and that was really also the driving factor for me. Even though Rimworld does not exactly fit the criteria for a completionist playthrough, I still want to show off as much as possible of the new features added by the Ideology expansion. That is also why I chose to go with one of the more impactful starting memes for our new colony, simply because I wanted this playthrough to feel noticeably different. After all, especially on the higher difficulty settings, there are only so many ways you can roleplay without falling into the same old habits of min-maxing everything, especially if you keep things mostly vanilla, so I am very excited to see that the Ideologies have added some actual in-game incentives and penalties for following a certain playstyle. And for that reason, I also think that our tree-loving murder cultists do have that unique feeling to them, despite the fact that we are only 3 episodes into the series. However, back when I developed the rough sketch for this playthrough, it was actually a pretty close call between the tree connection and the raider meme as our starting point, and I think the latter would have been quite interesting to see as well, and it actually would have also fit our starting colonist specs. In the end though, I figured that I would likely not be able to feature raiding too prominently in the early game, simply because starting with nothing requires a lot of prep work before you can even defend yourself, let alone attack others. Still, with raiding being one of those new, or at least expanded features in the game, I am pretty sure it will be featured in some way or another in the not-so-distant future. In any case, it is rather unlikely that our Ideology will develop to include some of the less impactful belief systems, simply because I think that those do not really do much to make the game any more interesting on their own, and I would like to keep a healthy balance between benefits and penalties, so that the game does not become too easy. So you will probably not see me play with the super powerful supremacist human primacy collectivist combo, because at that point you are really only picking bonuses without any downsides whatsoever. On the other hand, I am very much intrigued by memes such as Blindside, Darkness, Transhumanist, which in my opinion is also the most fitting one for the new Arconexus ending, or the aforementioned Raider meme. But obviously we will have to see how the story continues and what makes the most sense for our series. I will definitely try to involve you in these decisions as well, but for the moment I think we don't have to worry too much about the long-term direction of our small colony. Let us instead try to keep everyone alive for now. So that just as a quick peek behind the curtain, as I normally don't really have a good way of including stuff like this in the actual Rimworld episodes, and I also did not want the non-gameplay portion of that first episode to become even longer than it already is. Now, I think at this point I have talked enough about Rimworld, and since that is the big thing that happened in November, let us now set our sights on what's to come for the remainder of the year. As always, I will try not to let the holiday break become too noticeable in terms of uploading new content, so you can expect both Rimworld and Mass Effect to mostly continue as usual. Nonetheless, I will be spending a few days at home with my family, so there might be the occasional delay here and there, but hopefully nothing too dramatic. One more thing that is going to happen in December is a short holiday AMA or Q&A or whatever you want to call it that I will be having over on the Pete Complete Discord. So if you are a Patreon supporter or want to become one, you can witness that live on Saturday, December 18th, and perhaps get me to answer some of your burning questions. However, as it is very important to me to not keep any content completely away from the community, the AMA will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube about 1 week later. So of course, I would be very happy to see some of you join the Patreon and participate live on Discord, but you absolutely don't have to do that to get the full thing. So please consider this as more of an invitation than an advert for my Patreon. I simply wanted to let you know of the AMA ahead of time, so that if you really want to be a part of it live, you have a chance to do that. And speaking of Patreon, and with the video already becoming somewhat lengthy, let us now jump ahead to the final part, our usual monthly Patreon shoutouts. This time the list is a little bit longer than it was in the last few months, but that of course should not and will not stop me from thanking each and every one of you. So as always, in no particular order, I want to say thank you to Jimbo Stunner, Ray Mason II, Unknown, Draco, Andrew Penry, Mighty Merlin, Christopher Eccles, Cruxel, Sam Stevens, 21 Bones, Mandy Wala, Wicked Plays, Ultiman, Took, Captain Falconator, Timothy Bennett, Gabriel Diaz, Cheddar, Layforce, Kilo as Whiskey, Per Christian Kumamo, Jertle, Appreciate, Raccoononi, Melancholy Melon, Xylene, Chris Jonite, Maxoplo, Josh Sims, Letherington, Andis, Elf Tacos, Pekka Salmella, Abru, Gamerboy Czar, Emily, Iliont, 4Trevor4, Idis, Bertier, Malcolm Hill, Anthony Turner, Yamsoup, Coleman, Stellanaut, Erno Poskimo, Comrade Squeaks, Andre, Heros, Pseudonym Here, Edwin Eriksson, Uplinked, Jason Russell, Ian Hunt, Ben Ballantyne, Cypher5656, Kazanda Sand, Christian Romsing, Highroom, Kairos SU, Submit, Jekna, Darwi, Waylon Wook, and about 4,000 ninjas. As always, I hope I pronounced all of your names correctly. Above all though, thank you so much for your support. And I think that's it for today, so it looks like we are wrapping up the year with a long one. I don't think that many of you will complain about that though, and if you did in fact enjoy the video, then I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or check out and maybe even pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.